Ladies and gentlemen, good day, and welcome to the MSTC Limited third quarter FY23 earnings conference call hosted by Equirus Securities. As a reminder, all participants are in listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I will now hand the conference over to Anish Manis from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. On behalf of Equirus Securities, I welcome you all to Q3 FY23 earnings conference call of MSTC Limited. Management, we have with us today Mr. Surinder Kumar Gupta, Chairman and MD, Mr. Subrat Sarkar, Director of Finance, and Mr. Ajay Kumar Rai, Company Secretary. We will begin the call with opening remarks on the management, and then we can open the line for the question and answer. Now hand over call to Mr. Surinder Kumar Gupta. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. All our investors who are present in investor call. Your company is doing very good, and the overall performance for 3 quarters for current financial is better than the last financial year. Our total revenues have grown from 185 crore to 202 crore. I'm talking about the standalone basis. And our profit also before tax has increased from 142 to 206 crore. In e-commerce, the company is increasing its footprint and trying to add in more customers. One very good development that has taken place, which will benefit MSTC in 2 ways, is about the recycling sector. Government of India has issued a notification that all vehicles, whether the central government, state government, panchayats, any or public sector units, vehicles which are older than 15 years will be compulsorily deregistered, and those vehicles will be sold on MSTC portal only. So this will give us good market for the MSTC for sale of ELV. Apart from that, our joint venture company, MMRPL, which was working below capacity because of the non-availability of end-of-life vehicles, though those units will get sufficient feedstock for processing. So I'm sure this development will benefit MSTC directly in their e-commerce revenues, as well as it will benefit our joint venture company MMRPL to have more vehicles and not only break even but even earn profits in the next financial year. So this is one very positive development for us. Another thing that investor community is always anxious to know it about the FSNL. So I want to inform all that the disinvestment process which is being carried out by DIPAM is progressing well, and depending upon now it is basically has reached a very definite level, and number of meetings have been held, and DIPAM is very DIPAM wants to close this deal as soon as possible. So could be in next quarter or next to next quarter you will you will get some news on that front. We are not still sure about the timelines, that the total process is being steered by DIPAM, and we are giving them all the support that is required. So with this, I'll hand over to our Director of Finance, who will tell you more about the financial figures. Thank you.
So, good afternoon to everybody, and as our CMD has briefed, it was a very robust 9 months performance. Going by that volume part, during 9 months 2020-23, company crossed a volume of in the e-commerce 16,160.66 billion in terms of value of goods transacted through its marketing and e-commerce vertical, which is 52.16% increase over the value of goods traded during the same period in 21-22. So far, consolidated revenue of the group is concerned, it is 646.79 crores during 9 months 22-23, vis-a-vis revenue of 699.48 lakhs in 9 months 21-22 on the same trajectory. But the PBT is 218 crores as compared to 167.63 crores after last corresponding period, increased by 30%. And PAT, it is 165 crores as compared to 103 crores, increased by around 60%. So it is a robust growth in the group as well as in the standalone, driven mainly by our e-commerce growth. Now, coming back to standalone financials, you can see that this total revenue, although it has shown a dip from 409 to 367 crores, but that EBITDA pre-provisioning has gone up from 169.79 crores to 289 crores, and profit before tax has grown from 142.51 crores to 206 crores, and profit after tax, PAT, has grown from 88 to 163 crores, and EPS from 12.61 to, of course, 23.18 crores, and the cash profit 113.49 to 245.48 crores. So it is a growth of around 50% to 50% plus. If we go by the segment wise, we can see that e-commerce revenue has grown by 19% from 205 to 244.85, and marketing revenue has shown a dip from 185 to 97 crores. So with this, the profit after tax has grown from 88.74 crores to 163.17 crores. Now the consolidated group-wise revenue almost remain on the flatter trajectory, a dip of around 7% from 699.48 crores to 646.79 crores, and EBITDA the quantum jump from 210.99 to 314 crores, and provisions, write-off, etc. taken care of. So profit before tax has gone from 167.63.09 crores. Profit after tax 103 to 165 crores. So accordingly, the group earning per share has grown from 14 rupees 65 paise to 23.44 paise. That is a jump of around 60%. And so far, PL is concerned, you can see that the total revenue is has gone down in the standalone basis and in the consolidated basis, but our profit before tax on a standalone basis is up from 142 to 206.70, 45.05%, and PAT from 88.74 to 163.17. And in the group, in the consolidated basis, PBT has grown from 167.63 to 218.09 crores, up by 30%, and 103.15 to 165 crores, up by around 60%. So that is all from our side. Now we hand it over to you for your feedback, please, sir. Hello. Now we can go for questions and answer session.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and then one on their touch-tone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and then two. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking the questions. Again, if you would like to ask a question, please press star and then one now. The first question we have is from Nikhil Chandak from JM Family Office. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. My question was if you could share more details, granular details on the scrappage business. What exactly is the business plan? The company is investing roughly 1.5 crore is what I read from the press release into the JV. Is that amount sufficient to get up for the opportunity which is coming up in scrappage over the next few years? We know from how many centers you have to how many centers do you target to go to, the competitive intensity, what is the EBITDA you make per scrapped vehicle? I think if you can share some more granular details about this leg of the business, that will be very useful.
Okay. Right now we have 6 plants in operation, and few more plants are coming. That will be we are targeting for operation in the current financial year. What was actually this 1.4 crore that we are basically investing more, so that will be basically whatever was the authorized share capital, that will be fully subscribed. That is one reason. And as far as our company MMRPL is concerned, they have funds at their command because we have invested 30 crore each. So they have already funds, so that there is no constraint as far as the capacity addition is concerned. Basically, we were very cautious in expansion because the number of vehicles were not coming from the public as well as the government also. And now government has realized that with the sort of incentives and the policy initiatives government has taken. You see, when the policy was announced in September 21, right? Since this is a basically state subject, RTO is a state subject, states were taking some time in understanding the implications of this policy. And there were certain incentives envisaged for in terms of reduced road tax concessions. So what has happened is the states were initially not coming forth, they were not so ready to come out with their own policy notifications to give effect to these guidelines in their states. But center has been very clear on this, that this is a basically benefit which will accrue to states in terms of more vehicles will be registered in the states. Apart from that, center announced a grant of 2,000 crore, total grant of 2,000 crore with the state size. Some states getting 300 crore, some states getting 50 crore. That kind of, all the states were categorized based on their sizes. So the center laid down the guidelines that if you do these things, then this grant will be released. So there were 3 main points in that. One was that you issue your policy notification so that you can license the RVSF. Second was you allow the road tax concession and waiver of the pending dues. And third was you take the decision about the scrapping of government vehicles. So with that, states now 16 or 7 states have already announced the policy guidelines. Number of states have announced the road tax concessions. 6 states have announced as on date that they will basically they have issued notification for government vehicle scrapping beyond 15 years to RVSF only. So now the states are coming in a very big way for implementation of policy in their states. So with this in mind, we are open to basically, we will be always looking for the opportunity to open more plants. Apart from that, because the vehicles were not coming, so we were doing basically the setting up the plants on a very frugal budget. I mean, we were not spending too much because we were getting certain losses from the JV because we are not getting the adequate number of vehicles. So we are working below the capacity. So now we hope with these developments, we'll be starting getting more vehicles. And as we see, and our period for setting up a new plant is not very large. So it's 3 to 4 months. So as and when we see some traction up, we will be adding more plants. Apart from that, I mean, it is not only the plant. We have had the collection centers also. So near a plant in 200-300 kilometer range, we have basically tied up for the collection centers where the vehicles are collected, and when the sufficient load is there, those are transported to these facilities. So wherever collection centers are there and we see that there are adequate number of vehicles, so that gives a good data point to set up a plant there only. So by the end of this financial year, we'll have total 8 or 9 plants. And in next year, depending upon how the total things go, we can open many more plants, and we are very open to infuse further equity also. So there is no ambiguity on that.
Understood. Sir, how much capex per plant do you need to put in for one scrappage plant?
You see, I'm not basically that figures cannot be given because every plant will need a different kind of facilities depending upon the number of vehicles we are getting. A plant may have a 70 crore, 80 crore capex also. A plant may be with a very less capex also. That's not the issue. What we see is as and when the things become clear, we are ready to infuse more funds into the company. That's what I can.
And sir, last question is, if you could even broadly share the revenue metrics or the P&L metrics for, say, if one car is scrapped at your facility, what is the revenue you earn out of that, just the act of scrapping, and what is the margin you really make on that? I'm leaving aside the sale of scrap, just the scrappage. What revenue do you make and what margins do you make on scrapping, say, one car, for example?
You see, it's not a very straightforward answer I can give you. It depends upon the kind of vehicle I get. Like if I get a vehicle in good condition, then I may able to sell some certain spares also, right? It's not that you melt a whole thing, and that is not the purpose of any policy. You can always reuse certain spare parts, and whatever is not usable, that has to be basically recycled. So there are twin purpose of that. So it is a vehicle may give me 30% return, a vehicle may give me a 10% return. So it's very definite figure. It is very difficult, and one of kind can give me even return of 50% also. So there is no basically definite. On the average, it's a good business. On the average, if we get the sufficient capacity, it's a very good business proposition. That is what I can.
But sir, say based on the cars you would have scrapped so far, I'm just looking for an average number. Like what is the average revenue per car scrapped you make, for example?
It's not possible to say. Definitely these figures because you see there are number of fixed costs, the labor cost that you apply, whether you process the 40 cars in a month or you process 400 cars, so that will be distributed over the basically. Similarly, my lease rent, my security charges, all these charges will be adding up to the vehicles I process, isn't it? So the more vehicles I get, the more profit I'll get in that. So very, very difficult to say definite number on each vehicle, or even an average figure on each vehicle. Let us reach some capacity of, let us say 50, 60, 70%, then we'll be able to say something with certainty.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question we have is from Vikas Kasturi from Focus Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello, sir. So I had a couple of questions. The first one is, does our e-commerce business have a realistic chance of touching the 300 crore mark this year, sir? I think we are at about 240, 250 crores. So would be likely to touch 300 crores or go beyond that? this financial year, sir.
Another question, sir?
Yeah. So the other question is on slide 5 of the presentation, under e-commerce, there is other income within e-commerce, on slide 5 of the investor presentation. So could you please shed more light on what is this?
Yeah. So first of all, I must answer you. Like, you have rightly pointed out, it's 245 this time. So like, it all depends upon, what happens. We have seen in the past also, like in the year, if you can recall, in the year 2020, everything was going very fine. All of a sudden, in the month of March, the COVID came and everything was spoiled. So it is all depends upon if the circumstances remain as it is. So of course that altogether saying, right from the IPO in the last 3 years, we are keeping on saying, like it is e-commerce related growth, and e-commerce and it has happened. E-commerce has grown by leaps and bounds. Okay. So it all happens if the circumstances remains positive. So I think we'll be able to land up in a very positive result so far when we meet you people after the final result for 21-22. And like regarding your second question, so we as a e-commerce operator, sometimes we derive some indirect revenue also, like other fees, etc., etc. This is all about like that only. Nothing special. So it is just it is not directly because of the service charge, some other revenue, fees, etc. So it is all about like that only.
Sure. Thank you, sir. I would just like to also place my request before the management. Sir, my humble request is that right now the investor presentation is more or less the same as what you have in your quarterly filings. It's pretty much the same numbers presented in a presentation form. And I am sure myself and a lot of other investors would like to know more about the nature of the business. So, for example, what are the growth drivers in each of the lines of business? So in the case of, for example, the previous speaker, he asked the questions about the scrapping, and I had made similar notes. So these are the kind of things that we would like to know more about, say, the scrapping business. In the e-commerce business, we would like to know what are the growth drivers, what are the different kind of auctions that we conduct, the number of auctions that we conduct. So we would like to know more details about the business, and the more you tell us, the more we would be educated, sir. So my request to you is to please make the presentation more detailed and more granular, and so that I will place it before you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for
we understand your concern. We'll see how we can address your concerns in the next presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Your next question, please.
Of course. The next question, ladies and gentlemen, participants are limited to 2 questions at a time. The next question we have is from Dixit Doshi from Whitestone Financial Advisors. Please go ahead.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity. So my first question is about this. First, in your opening remarks, you mentioned about the notification that all the old 15-year-old vehicles will be sold on MSTC platform of all the PSUs and government vehicles. So this above 15-year will be sold on your platform, or it will be scrapped?
Please repeat your question. Sold on platform or
it will be scrapped. All 15-year-old vehicle will be scrapped, or it will be sold in a, let's say, second-hand market on our platform.
Both, Mr. Doshi. All will be scrapped and it will be sold on our platform. And one more thing, it will be sold to only RVSF. So the people who are authorized to process these vehicles under the central notification. So it will be sold to only those people. So they will be compulsorily scrapped. They will be sold through our portal, and those will be sold to only RVSF.
Okay, so basically, let's say if our JV with Mahindra wants to scrap this vehicle, they will also participate on our platform's auction, and they can then win there and scrap.
Exactly.
Okay, okay, understood. And is there any rough estimate that how many vehicle would be there right now above 15-year-old, only the state government, government and PSU?
Yeah, what the government figures we are getting is around 15 lakh. We are getting an estimate of around 15 lakh vehicle from more.
Okay. And this auction, this will be like, let's say, whatever we'll be selling, it will be on a percentage of fee of the value, or it will be like a coal auction where we get some fixed fee for, making the portal?
It will be a percentage. What we have said is that up to March, will not charge any percentage. Will be charging zero so that the sector gets the impetus. But beyond March, we will charge 3% on the whatever the value of transaction.
Okay.
So that is available. This information is just a second. This information is available on our website also.
Okay. So 3% of value from 1st April, like let's say from FY24 onwards.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very helpful. My second question is, you mentioned that our Mahindra JV is operating at a very low capacity utilization. So can you just broadly say at what capacity utilization it would be currently?
You see, our plants have come in operation at different points of time, right? So these figures will be able to perhaps share during the next investors Concall, but that computation becomes slightly complex. It will be in different plants. So that figure ready and we don't have, but we'll try to address this thing in next. Try to address it next call.
And if you try to address that, then together, if you can, broadly, let's say when you will post the March numbers, if you will be able to do, let's say, revenue of the JV and the number of vehicles sold, scrapped for the FY23, that will also be helpful if you can get those numbers also in the next Concall.
We'll see. We'll see how best we can give you more information on that.
Okay. Now coming to our e-commerce business, so this quarter the revenue has seen some drop from year on year also and the quarter on quarter also. So is it fair to assume that this entire drop is predominantly due to the reduction in the scrap prices, or is there a decrease in the revenue from any other business also?
You see, there are two things in that. When you are rightly said, one is the slight dip in scrap pricing, because there we get the percentage as our service charge. So definitely the price of commodity decrease, my revenue decreases. That is one factor. Second factor is in every quarter there is some gain, which is some, like say if I sell power plant, and if I sell a power plant worth 300 crores, so that 7-8 crore revenues could be added there in my revenues of that quarter. So in the last corresponding quarter last year, there were few plant sales which gave me good revenue last year, which were not there in this quarter, and we are expecting in next quarter. So it's not basically something that the people have gone out of us and they are not doing the auctions. So it's largely robust, but these are some, I'll say slightly exceptions, because, and it's a normal market basically, normal market scenario. Nothing unusual about this slide downward.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, if you would like to ask a question, please press star and then 1. Participants are also limited to 2 questions at a time. You may rejoin the question queue once your 2 questions are done. The next question we have is from Keshav Garg from Countercyclical PMS. Please go ahead.
Sir, just wanted to understand that we have been constantly mentioning that the provisions in marketing division are behind us. But sir, if we see for the 9 months, then again the provisioning has gone up year on year. So from around 26 crores last year 9 months to 80 crore in first 9 months of this financial year. Sir, so going forward, sir, how confident are you that this is the last of the provisioning losses that we are seeing? And is there any scope of a write back in future?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is basically, let me clear you very clearly everything. It is a figure is provision stroke write-off. So this is 80 crores is nothing, but it is appearing on both the sides. If you see the other income, you see it has gone up like anything. You see.
Okay.
So we have got. Let me clear it very thing. It is only 95 lakhs of provisions has been made during this 9 months period only.
Okay.
I repeat, only 95 lakhs. Balance is the both sides, because we are writing off certain old provisions. So it is because of that we are it is appearing on the income as well as the expenses side. Number one. Number two, it is so far write back is concerned. So this year we have already written back around 4.5 and 5 crores, although a very meager sum, but we are written back. So we hope that in the next results also we will be able to tell you something positive about this. But again, I repeat, this year the fresh provision is only 95 lakhs.
Right.
So far, standalone is concerned.
And I will add to it, you can be rest assured that there is no further provisioning as far as the marketing is concerned. We have provided for everything, right? And this 95 lakh is about for the e-commerce only. That's a very meager sum for a figure of around 250, 230, 35 crores. So 95 lakh is a very meager sum as far as the provision for e-commerce is concerned. So marketing provisions are behind us as of now.
Absolutely, sir. Well understood, sir, and thank you very much for that clarity. Sir, also, sir, as far as sir, this vehicle scrappage is concerned, sir, so you mentioned that the old government vehicles will be scrapped through your portal, and only the qualified bidders can bid in that, and our JV with M&M is also one such party. So who are the other prominent people, sir? Is Tata Steel also participating, or they also have that kind of business? Are they present in the scrappage business? And sir, who are the other competitors in the same business?
You see, the RVSFs are coming up, and basically it's a very, very vibrant market, and states are basically giving the essence for setting up the plant. Approvals for setting up the plants. The complete information about this is available on the MORTH website, that how many RVSF are there. So any RVSF who comes who is approved by MORTH, who is approved by the state government, that information is available on the MORTH portal, and they are eligible to apply to us and get registered. Online registration we allow for that RVSF. So as of now the players are not very large, but I'm sure with the policy initiative and government sincerity, more people will come. Right now the competition is not that good. I'm not sure about the name of parties, that because individual departments will deal it, that will, will never, we in fact, we as such never in management tend to know who are the people. So that's my e-commerce operation, which is basically a separate thing, and my JV is a separate thing. So we don't basically gather that kind of data, although it may be available with my system, but that's not really required by me.
Right, sir. Well understood. And sir, lastly, if you could just tell us something about the litigation with Standard Chartered, that where are we currently and how much money we have already deposited, and in the worst case scenario, if we lose the litigation, then how much more money do we need to provide?
Sir, let me answer you one by one. First of all, as we have seen through our declaration in the stock exchange and our financial results, the note has been given. So our appeal has been restored by Honorable Bombay High Court, and it is now lying with DRAT. So it will be the outcome of the appeal, of course, will decide the fate of this case, number one. Number two, we have already deposited 90 crores with DRAT as a precondition to this appeal. Number three, so we do not envisage any further materiality at this moment, the condition as it's there. And so far provisioning is concerned, so total amount that has been demanded by the Standard Chartered through this order has already been provided for in our books of accounts. So nothing about the profitability. And so far litigation is concerned, it is sub judice, so it will all depend in the future what happens afterwards.
Thank you, sir. The next question we have is from Harshad Jain from RAH Investment. Please go ahead.
Hello, very good afternoon.
Yeah.
My first question would be regarding that in this particular quarter, we had a dip of around 9% in our e-commerce segment. One is this lower scrappage price, but the other thing that in this quarter we have sold a Hyderabad plant worth 500 CR and even a Hyderabad plot worth 600 CR. So may I know the specific reason that why there was a dip in this current quarter on e-commerce segment?
Hyderabad plant was last time.
Yeah. Let me.
Hyderabad plot.
Yeah. Plot, HMDA plot.
HMDA, that was last time.
Yeah. You see what happens. It is a mixed bag of everything. So one single plant or one single big event cannot boost or fill it like a big revenue out. It comes out of a lot of like a beehive structure, lot of activities, lot of e-commerce is peculiar, is all about like the revenues are in parcels. So it is a combination of all the parcels that gives us the revenue. And the whatever deep is there, it is very, very not that significant. As already explained by our CMD in the earlier session, answer to earlier questions also, it is a common phenomena which keeps on fluctuating during quarter to quarter. And it all happens at the end of the year, we hope. And you see the 9 months figures. 9 months we are already ahead of last year. So that is the trend, and we hope that we will be able to match at least last year's figures. So one single, that we want to emphasize, one single event or couple of events does not give that much of fillip. It is a combination of lot of things, sir. And we already, you will appreciate the fact. So that's the point. Sir.
Exactly. And as for the past track record of last 3 years, our Q4 is predominantly very heavy, and considering the scrap prices has recovered, iron ore prices has recovered almost 35% from the lower end from 3 months. So can we expect a massive Q4 in terms of iron ore sales?
Yeah, again I'm telling you, you see there are two things. One, like the price of the thing. Second, the person who wants to sell. And you know that already it was been announced that iron ore is now not under the Supreme Court aegis. It is now open. Okay. So people are having thinking of a lot of opportunities. So if at all the sale that used to happen through us comes to us, of course there will be a good revenue out of that. So again, it is a matter to watch and see. Let us hope for the best, but we have to watch and see what happens next in the month of February or March. February is now going, and March is of course, as you said, is a good month, but let us see what happens. If some unusual thing does not happen, so it will be of course a good and robust thing that will happen.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, if you have any follow-up questions, please press star and then 1 to rejoin the question queue. The next question we have is from Rahil Shah, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi sir. My question was on the similar lines to the previous one. Just any guidance going forward for the next financial year in terms of revenue and margins for the business on a consolidated level would be nice. Thank you.
Yeah. You see, first of all, what we are keep on telling, like for the couple of years, of course, the focus is on this e-commerce, and what we are trying to do is like to expand our horizons in the different fields of the e-commerce. So we will be mainly, so far, if anything does not go unusual, we will be mainly guided by this e-commerce and driven by this e-commerce related revenue for the next financial year, number one. Number two, if it all depends, these are all ifs and buts, because we are basically, if industry does well, we follow the path. So it is all about that how the industry behaves and everything goes in the market. So accordingly, we our results go ups and downs like that only. So, but the focus will be on the e-commerce related revenue only. So far, current projections are concerned.
I will add to that apart from that, we are basically diversifying also in e-commerce. Previously, scrap used to be major factor. Now scrap gives 50% revenue, then 50% are coming from other commodities. So we are spreading our basket, and we are looking for more and more commodities. We are looking for more and more sectors where our e-commerce services can be expanded. So if there is some downward cycle in one particular commodity, so we are sure that we'll be tide it over without much of hiccups. It may be some downfall here and there, but overall the growth trajectory, we are working with such a focus that our growth remains intact.
Okay, sir. Sounds good, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question we have is from Krishan Kotari, an individual investor.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question regarding the GEM portal. Just want to know, as far as competition is concerned, the government has, kind of passed a circular asking most of the government departments to auction their scrap, vehicles, property, land, etc. through the GEM portal. So, how do you see this do you see this as a big competition to you?
As of now, GEM, very few people are using GEM portal, and our services are far superior to the GEM portal. They just give a portal services, and we are doing the complete end-to-end basically sale operation for their product, many products. So our services are far superior than GEM. And some people who had gone to GEM, they are coming back to us because they are not getting the kind of rates for their products there. So we are sure that we will be able to. We are working hard to tide over this as far as the sale part is concerned.
So what if tomorrow the government mandates that all government departments have to do their auctions only through GEM?
You see, we cannot speculate on what government orders will be there. So as of now, we don't see any possibility of that kind into that, because that will decrease the. They will not be able to sell their products at the market rate by using GEM. And many of the people don't have the organization to do all these kinds of work. So definitely. And another thing is that our business is not only government, central government departments. Our business is many PSCs, our business is with state governments, our business is with many private houses, and not only scrap, so many kind of things. So I don't see really that the kind of affect it on our portal, even if something is mandated. Although I don't think it is a possibility as of now. I don't see. We don't know what government does it, but as of now we have not seen any visibility of that, or we have not heard anything on that.
Thank you, sir. The next question we have is from Sunil Shah from Concall. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Sir, I have one very basic question. I'm attending the call for the first time. Just wanted to understand the business model. Sir, when we say, e-auction that we do, sir, how is our revenue model? So, is it like, in stock broking, when a broker executes a trade, he gets a commission on the value of the trade. So, is that when we earn our revenue, is it connected to the value of the auction? That is one. Or is it like somebody who gives a marriage hall where he gets a fixed rate? irrespective of the, type of wedding which happens, he gets a fixed rent on the hall which he gives. So for us, which is the revenue model? Is it like the broker link which is connected to the value of the auction which happens? Or is it like a fixed revenue which we earn when we provide our platform for auction? Could you please help me understand this better?
Yeah. Sir, thank you very much. Your question is full of with the answer only. You have explained the answer in a very good manner that we have to tell you, because it is a mixed bag of what we have told. It's a mixed bag of revenue model. One is the value based, where we do the auction, we get a percentage of value. And another is a event based. We do the event, we get our event based charges, irrespective of the volume traded through that particular event. Whether the auction is successful or not, we get our service charges. So like it is a just a mixed bag of everything. So it depends upon the situation and depends upon the client and the person who wants what type of revenue model. It's both the revenue model that is invoked in our e-commerce business segment.
Okay. Sir, so when we say about scrapping of vehicles, I believe there it is going to be 3% of the value of the vehicle which is scrapped. So there could be percentage linked. Is that correct understanding?
Yeah, actually our CMD in a previous question he has told, like up to March it is available in the public domain also. Right. And up to March there will be no service charges. Just to promote this kind of environmental friendly thing and have a just to popularize the thing, it has been done. And from the April onward, that is FY23-24, this service charges that you mentioned, that will be applicable on the scrapping of the vehicles, which is being auctioned through our portal to RVSFs, means certain restricted population.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, if you have any follow-up questions, please rejoin the question queue by pressing star and then 1. The next question we have is a follow-up from Dixit Doshi. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, my 2 more questions. Firstly, if you see our other income was almost 20 crore this quarter. And in this, if I go to the segment revenue of the standalone numbers, then there is some 5 crore in the marketing revenue, 8 crore in the others, and maybe let's say 7 crore would be in e-commerce. So how can you mention about the nature of this other income, 20 crore?
Yeah, just now we just now told about the e-commerce nature. We, apart from getting our service charges, we derive certain fees, other fees, registration fees, and etc. etc. So that is booked in the other income from the this e-commerce business, and certain so far other is concerned, we have got the dividend from that our subsidiary that is there in the miscellaneous, and in the marketing we derive certain interest out of that amount, overdue amount that is there in the marketing. That is part of their thing. So that is the broadly the nature. It covers a lot of miscellaneous items also.
Okay.
And of course, certain interest amount also is there in the other income also. That is there in the part of that business which is we derive.
Okay. And my last question is on the, we in last couple of years, we did partnership with, let's say, Reliance, L&T, Bharti Airtel, and many more in the private sector. But I think the volumes have not picked up. So what are the difficulties we are facing? And let's say out of the current total revenue of e-commerce, how much would be from the private sector?
We don't maintain such kind of data that how much is from private or government. You see, I mean, scrap is one thing which continuously the rising is from the principals, and the rising unless, I mean, that depends upon their business operations. So whatever the volumes are arising, they give it to us only. That is what only we can assure. So what is their basically generation, we are not very sure about that.
Okay. And if I could ask just one more question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in terms of this e-auction of the properties, held by the banks through their NPAs, how is this traction there? I mean, are we getting the volumes there also?
Yeah, there we are getting good volumes. I mean, and now the success rate has also increased.
And it's on the value, right? Percentage.
No, there we don't get in the terms of percentage. There we get the number, I mean, the revenue per property sold. So that is the kind of model. I think that is a quite good amount of properties now we are selling there. I don't have the figures, but the amount of properties sold are sufficiently good to give us a robust revenue on that.
Thank you, sir. The next question we have is a follow-up from Keshav Garg. Please go ahead.
Sir, wanted to understand that, so sometime back last year there was a news item that the public sector banks are making their own portal for the auction of these properties instead of using MSTC. And also Coal India was also planning in-house scrap disposal portal. Sir, so have you seen any movement on any of these fronts, and has our business from Coal India or from public sector banks decreased?
First thing about the public sector banks, there is no progress on that, and we are selling their properties on as usual, and there is no news on that front. As far as the Coal India is concerned, we are doing the robust business with Coal India. In fact, Coal India has recently got a new portal developed from us. So the Coal India developer, there is a basically policy change by the government as far as the coal auctions is concerned. And as per the new policy, we have already developed a portal for Coal India. So Coal India doing the auctions from their own portal, we don't think a real possibility in a very near term.
Great, sir. Sir, also, sir, what is the net cash that we are having on our books as of now?
Pardon?
Sir, what is the net cash on our books?
I could not get your question, sir. Could you please
Sir, what is the cash balance that we are holding?
Sir, please wait for certain time. 30th of September, we have already declared our balance sheet and everything. So please just wait for a couple of months. We will be ready with all the balances and all these things. But I can assure you, with that provisioning, things are gone, and we are realizing almost a very good data. So it will be a good position so far. Our earnings are they are converted into a cash in a very good ratio right now. That much we can say, sir. Please wait for a couple months when our March figure will be ready, and we will be ready with you, sir. Nothing to hide from you, sir. We have got every right to get these figures, sir.
Hello, next question, please.
Apologies. The next question we have is from Harshad Jain as a follow-up. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Considering our last quarter balance sheet as on September 30th, we were holding around cash balance of around 1,000 CR. So any plans to distribute the same via special dividend or through buyback or through a bonus option or to something else? Because that is too much on our book.
We have already given a good dividend, sir. You will appreciate that 63% dividend. So we are already on the level of last year, sir. Already. So we as we are always thinking so far shareholders are concerned to appreciate their values as well as to make them those who have give them a loyalty thing. So it is there only, sir. So we are thinking, not sitting on the balances. We will utilize it proper way. There are certain liabilities that has to be also made. So that is there, sir. You have to think in totality, not on the directly on the asset part, sir.
Sure. And my last question would be regarding the scrappage front. As Mr. Surendra Kumar ji mentioned that we would be having almost 8 to 9 plants by end of this financial year. So from Q1 FY24 onwards, can we expect 100% capacity utilization of all the plants?
Very, very difficult to give the so definite a figure, but you see there are two parts of it. Let us understand it. One is the government vehicles, right? And then the second is the private vehicles also. The private vehicles also have to come in a big number so that the capacity is fully utilized. But I can say, whatever vehicles, I mean, with the seriousness of the government, will have the sufficient vehicles so that we not only break even, we earn some profit. If we get 100%, definitely will never like to reach that we reach 100%. Before we reach 100%, we will expand the capacity. So it is our intention to always be above the market so that we are not lacking in the capacity when the vehicles come to us. So that is what our total strategy has been there, and we want to encash on the first mover advantage. We want to maintain that advantage, and so that we are ahead of our competitors whenever they come up with their plans. So we want to have the footprint which covers most part of the country. That is what our strategy is.
Okay. And my last suggestion would be one very good thing started by you, not on stock exchange side, but on Twitter side, that you provided a monthly update on January front. So can we do it on regular basis, a monthly updates on stock exchange update?
Okay. We'll note this suggestion.
Yeah, because investors would come to know that what exactly our company is doing, what is the growth roadmap.
Okay, we'll see more in detail, and we'll try to address the the interest shown to you. We'll incorporate it suitably.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The last question we have is from Prashant Katari. Please go ahead.
Gupta ji, this question is again regarding the scrappage policy. You mentioned that central government vehicles have to be sold through the MSTC portal to RVSS. Does this also hold true for state government vehicles?
Yeah, this holds good for state government vehicles. This hold good for all the public sector vehicles. This hold good for even the vehicles up to the panchayat level. So all where the government has ownership, so all those vehicles are included in the estimate of this 15 lakh vehicle.
Okay, and all of these have to be auctioned only through the MSTC portal?
Yes.
Okay. And sir, one last question. What is the current capacity for dismantling that MMRPL has over the 6 centers put together?
I think this is information something which normally we don't make it public because we are not, it's a basically business confidentiality, basically for our, as far so that the competition concern, so that business information normally we are not divulging. Please excuse us for this.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our question and answer session. I will now hand over back to management for any closing remarks. Please go ahead, sir.
Before I hand over to our Director Financial to sum up, I can only say that the e-commerce market is very promising market, and we are sure that we will be able to achieve good results and will be able to fulfill the aspirations of our investor community. Second thing is the kind of emphasis that government has put on the circular economy because of this G20 summit. So we are seeing more traction in the scrappage policy. So having the first mover advantage in the vehicle scrappage. So definitely our company will be beneficiary in the total government schemes for that. Sudhota, you want to say something?
Yeah, just going by our CMD sir's closing remarks. So it will be a e-commerce driven growth in the coming quarters. And of course, we will be keep on, so far provisioning is concerned, so we will keep it at the bare minimum. Thank you very much for your cooperation and continuous support to the company that you have made it. Thank you again.
Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, that then concludes today's conference. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines.